Hey folks, I want to talk to you real quick today about whether or not a manual mill is right for you. More specifically, how much wood you can mill in a single day, and that should be your really guiding principle as to what size mill you need and what if that's what you want to get. And this is real world me sawing and stacking and rotating. Tools I have a tractor that I drag the logs over and load them onto my machine, and I've got a backhoe with a front end loader that I use for moving my slabs and scraps, debris, and you will wind up with a good bit of debris if you're running a sawmill of any large number of logs. Like I just finished this month milling 32 logs, which has yielded a lot of sawdust and has yielded a lot of slabs. So myself, I have found I can mill about 50 board feet an hour. That's with me doing everything. Me, myself, and that's hardwood. If you switch to softwood, that number goes up to about 75 board feet. Because the saw is able to saw through faster, but mainly it's because the wood is so much lighter and easier to stack. These boards some of my boards, when they're wet, they may weigh upwards to 70, 80 pounds for a big 2-inch thick board. Matter of fact, some of the boards that I milled, I actually had to load. I did some slabbing of a walnut tree, and the slabs weighed so much I just had to slide them off onto my backhoe bucket and then bring them over to the shed here and then slide them over. Wet wood is really heavy. So anyway, if you got a helper, you can pretty much double that. You'll jump up to 100. You can go to 100 for hardwood and 150 board feet an hour for softwood. And if you've got another helper, you'll increase it just a little bit more. But that's where you will pretty much hit your diminishing return. 2 helpers, you're going to probably have one of them. You need to be a well-oiled machine to really take advantage of 2 helpers. But 1 helper is absolutely great. If you can get somebody to help you while you're sawing wood, if you got somebody stacking and you can just kind of stay focused on moving logs. Anyway, and a manual sawmill is the right choice as long as you're planning on using the wood yourself. They're cost effective. We managed to pay off ours. I spent $5,000 on my Easy Boardwalk Junior. I got a dozen blades, so I got a total of 14 blades with it. And it cost me the rest. Like I said, my total was about $5,000, and of course, because it was a farm item, it was tax free, so that was good. And we paid for it. It paid for itself within 6 months. And if I'd been on top of it, it would have paid for itself sooner. This month alone, I have milled about $15,000 worth of white oak, cedar, and walnut. And if you get into walnut, that's high dollar wood. So if you're lucky and can find some trees and whatnot, manual mill is a really good way to go. If you're trying to do it for, like I said, for a business, and I'll show you how much wood I have on hand, and it's a lot. This building, of course, is part of your cost on having a wood mill. And people need to realize that you got to have a place to store it, and you need to have something that's fairly easy access. So my sawmill is located here. My backhoe's parked there for throwing them slabs, and my sticker racks are here, and then my shelving racks are beside, for the most part. This originally started as all sticker racks. and I've slowly but surely added more and more shelving, because one of these shelving units can hold about twice the amount of wood, but also if you need a stick of lumber, it's not buried under 4,000 pounds of wood. So you know, these are also items to consider before buying a sawmill, that, you know, there's some infrastructure required to do something like this. So I'm a woodworker, and this has been, you know, so I'm coming at it from kind of the end user perspective of, I make use of all this wood, whereas a lot of sawmill guys come at it from the, I just want to cut lumber and sell it, which there's nothing wrong with that, and I recommend anybody that doesn't have the space, you know, to find somebody local that has a sawmill and either have them come out. That's how I actually started, was I actually hired and started running a Wood-Mizer sawmill. As I hired somebody that had a sawmill and came down, and we sawed lumber together. Well, I realized that it was more cost effective for me just to own my own mill than it was to pay him to come and saw. So, because I have a lot of trees on my property, we'll show you the backside, and there's lots and lots of hardwoods, and I don't mill anything. I either get wood trees given to me, or I've got a tree that's dead or dying or in the way of something. I don't actually take down trees to mill on, for the most part. It's normally an issue of I've got a tree that's fallen, or I've got a tree that's leaning, it's going to fall, and I'll go ahead and take it down. So anyway, I hope you guys, for those out shopping for wood mills, hope you guys find this informative. Like and subscribe. Oh, and before I forget it, so back to how much wood I can mill myself. So I said 50 board feet an hour, but about 400 board feet is about what my back can handle moving. So that's another factor, is your fatigue and your status. Is, you know, if you're 20 years old, you can probably outwork me at this stage of the game. But you know, and I'm also doing this stuff in winter, so my days are short. It's dark by 6 o'clock, so it's not like a summer day where you've got, you know, you can start early and basically saw all day. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe.